Hi guys, I'm back up here with another collective message. Remember, all messages are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need and leave the rest, as well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you know what to do. DM me, we can get you set up, come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as going to drop a comment down below, let it hear from you guys and start the discussion, as well as just going to share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collectors so we all can get on one accord, okay? So I will not be on screen just talking to you guys. Bear with the kid, okay? All right, so the channel message here has to do with, like we always talk about, being still. But in these moments in time when it comes to being still, right, this is not, oh, be still, get in prayer, be still to do this, or be still to do an action, right? Or because when you pray, you're doing something, right? You're doing something, you're tapping into something, right? It's literally stop and stand, right? Because as right now, as we've been talking about in these previous readings, especially in the Divine Feminine reads or Twin Flame reads, but cater to Divine Feminine energy, right? Everybody, really, because everybody got Divine Feminine and Masculine within them, right? Right. Anywho, we can talk about that another day. But the message has to do with finding that signal, right? I was just listening to the song Oblivion, or no, it's Self-Love, right, by Mac Miller, but at the end it's Oblivion, the song, right? The little snippet at the end of that track, right? And it made me think about where we are as a collective, and this includes myself as well. I'm with you guys here, right? And it's like we are right now dealing with a shit ton of mental fog. A shit ton of mental fog. When your mental's cloudy, you can't see what you're doing, and not really realizing how you're acting and your behavior and the way that you're coming about, right? This is that type of energy when your vision's cloudy, when you feel like you're aiming, when you feel like you're overindulging in something, right? This is where we gotta stop and just stand. Because sometimes when we're in moments like that, in low moments in our life like that, sometimes you don't have the strength to bear the get into meditation, or the self-discipline to get into meditation, or the self-discipline to get into prayer, or whatever that suit, right? Sometimes you just have to stop, right? Sometimes you have to just stand there, right? Sometimes you have to just not react. Sometimes you just need to be. Do not move anything. Do not shake anything. Just be in the moment where you're at, right? Stop the press, right? This is that type of energy in these moments in time here. Because when you're in that space of stillness, that's when God is going to reveal itself to you. That's when God's going to tell you what the next steps are. This is when God's going to reveal the next steps to you. You're going to physically see the next steps. You're going to intuitively feel the next steps that you need to do. Sometimes you do not have to, off the bat, tap into prayer. Off the bat, tap into meditation, excuse me. Sometimes you just need to stand. And sometimes when you're standing, sometimes when you're stopped, sometimes when you're in that space, sometimes you feel like you're in autopilot. Sometimes that you feel like you are not even there, right? This is that type of energy with no emotion, with no intent, no nothing, just straight space, right? And when you're in that space of just space, that's when God can drop things into your space. That's when God can drop jewels into your space. That's when God can drop instruction into your space. That's when God can drop direction into your space. That's when God can drop order within your space. When you are just space. And sometimes to be in space, it makes you feel like you're not doing enough. Sometimes when you're in space, sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm regressing. Oh, I am doing this, right? Because the more that you push against your flesh, the more that you push against your human nature, the more that you push against, the more you're pulling that gravity, that what's the word I'm looking for? That thing, that action, behavior. You're causing more magnitude. Let's say it more like that. That's how you get more magnetized to it, right? Sometimes you just don't need to do anything. Sometimes you just need to be. Sometimes you need to just wait on the signal of God. And the way to get to the signal of God is to be still, to be space, so God can drop things within your space and fill your space. Because sometimes we feel that we need to fill our space with prayer. Sometimes we feel we need to fill our space with meditation. Sometimes we feel we need to fill our space with the church. Sometimes we need to fill our space with objects, things, people, attention, ego. All of it, y'all. Good, bad, and ugly. Sometimes we feel like we need to fill our space, and sometimes that space just needs to be empty. Think about yourself being in a white room with nothing. It's just a room. White. Walls. That's it. You're just in a white space. Right? So this is that type of energy. And sometimes being in that space feels uncomfortable. Sometimes being in that space makes you have to think and really reflect on yourself. Being in that space makes you have to really see yourself from a whole different perspective. And being in this space myself, it's helping me see myself from a whole different perspective. It's helping me see myself, right? Just using myself as an example. That I still have things I have to heal on. There's things I have to clean up. There's things I have to, that's been under the rug that I overlooked. I overlooked. And as a collective, we are now being revealed that within that space. The only way you can see that is within that empty space. That's where God can meet you, in that empty space. Okay? All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Remember, all messages are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need to leave the rest, as well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you know what to do. DM me. We can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl, okay? Drop a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys. Let's start the discussion, as well as let's go and share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collective so we all can get on one accord, okay? I want you guys to have a good night. Stay up, and bye-bye.